So let's talk about the outcome of the Korean War. So here's what's interesting. North and South Korea remain divided at the 38th parallel, just as they had before the war. So you see this line here that shows that invisible parallel line at the 38th parallel. Y'all, the Korean War changed nothing. North Korea remained communist, South Korea remained non-communist. And you might be thinking, well, wasn't that a waste of several years? But here's the important thing you need to know why the Korean War was significant. The US shows that they are willing to use force to contain communism. Not only are we going to have a policy of containment, but we're actually going to use force in order to enforce that policy. Whether before it was just like we have policies on paper, but just follow them or don't follow them, we're not going to do anything. This is showing we are enforcing our policies. You need to make sure that you follow them. And this is going to be kind of a wake up call to China and the Soviet Union being like, oh my goodness, we can't just do whatever we want. So that is why the outcome of this war is significant. So here's our theoretical end of the war. In July 27th, 1953, North and South Korea sign an armistice. This is an agreement to stop fighting directly, but this is not a peace treaty. There's still some resentment between North and South Korea. But as you see here, which is interesting in the picture on the right, is that in 2018, the leaders of North and South Korea met to discuss terms of a treaty. These countries are so close together. So to try to get some terms of peace, even though they might have different ideologies, they'll be definitely significant in getting freedom and democracy on the global scale for everyone. Here is the lasting legacy of this. Now, this picture that you see is super interesting because this is a satellite picture from night. All of the lights you see symbolize really major cities. Because you think about major cities, especially downtown Dallas, they have tons of lights at night because you're able to see everything. And that shows that it is high economic development. You have a lot of lights in major cities. When you're out of the country, you don't have a lot of lights. The lights at night symbolize economic development. So if you look at here, North Korea has almost no lights, just a small little bit in the capital city of Pyongyang. Now, if you look in South Korea, they have lights everywhere, and the capital city of Seoul is humongous, so much light there. So here's our lasting legacy that North is still communist. There's many human rights violations over the last 50 years. You guys have seen so many documentaries and negative stuff about North Korea, and they're the 125th economy in the entire world. There's 195 countries in the world, and they're number 125. The South is still capitalist. They are 11th best economy in the world and a close ally with the United States. So that is our lasting legacy of the Korean War, and we'll talk about what does this mean for containment and how will that affect us when we continue the Cold War, specifically when we get into Vietnam.